Yo, what are you doing right now? We are going to get real about men's issues, who Jesus is, and who we are as men in Christ. We're going to hear Trey, Jeremy, Michael, and Brad break it down. These guys call themselves the Cussin Christians. All right, guys, what is going on?
That's a hot topic right now.
Man, I smell tuna fish.
Test. Perfect.
You smell tuna fish?
Did you not shower last night?
Yeah, I did, actually.
Okay.
I ate some yesterday, but that was yesterday.
Did you rip one over there?
No.
Dude, I'm so over these stupid stories on Facebook that aren't true. Like there was one about some celebrity that was on The View, and it says so-and-so walks off The View, stuns audience. I read this like last week, and even reading it, I'm like, this doesn't sound real. And then this morning, same story, except it was Brandon Lake. Brandon Lake walks off the set of The View, stuns audience, and it was the same article, just with a different name.
Yeah.
And there were people that I know who posted on there like look at this.
Yeah.
The first thing I do is I go to the page, and it's like, whatever, celebrity gossip, 24/7, and there's like 200 followers. I'm like, this isn't. Like, it's not a real news source, but that's all, like, most of what I see on Facebook now is that kind of crap.
Yeah, good example. I sent my kids a reel on Instagram, all right? Loved it. If you do a search on my phone, you're going to see comedians, dogs, and now I'm into these cop where they pull people over and the people go freaking nuts.
I love those.
I thought so cool.
I love those.
They escalate, and
Yeah.
then sometimes people get shot, and I'm like, oh man, that's bad. Yeah. So anyway, this one comes up where these dogs are saving these little babies.
Like, yeah.
So I sent it. No, I sent it to the family. So I sent it to everybody, and so my son texts us back and goes, "Dad, that's AI."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was just about to tell you that.
I've seen the ones of the little tabby cat attacking a mountain lion.
Yeah, that's the one. That was the beginning one.
Yeah, and the mountain lion takes off with his tail between its legs. I'm going, that don't look right.
Yeah.
And then
there's that disturbing one.
The flat screen TV, and the dog goes underneath it. And
there's a disturbing one of an eagle grabbing a baby, and the dog jumping up on the eagle.
Yeah, I saw that one. I thought it was real.
That was
first.
disturbing.
I thought it was real at first, and then I had to like look back at it and saw that it was the same dog and the same person every time.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, this is AI.
Yeah,
and so I asked my son. I said, "How do you know?" I can't tell. He said, "There's a glitch. You can see the dog kind of paw it. There's a glitch in it a little bit," and he said, "Why would?" Oh, one of them was a pit bull, and the little baby was going to stick a metal thing into an electrical outlet.
Yeah,
and it's like, why? Then he goes, "Dad, why would the parents be videotaping their baby
with
sticking a metal piece?"
It was perfect angle. It wasn't like a shot from a camera up in a corner. It's like face high.
I'm done. I'm done sending stuff.
But how pathetic is it that people are generating this stuff and putting it out there? Just for attention or what? Just for clicks?
It's all about clicks, man.
And it scares me to death that as we evolve into, now I've seen Stormer from UK saying you can't get a job without the biochip in
Mark
your...
of the beast.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's
Britain.
In Britain,
you can't
they're
work.
wanting to do the identification on you.
The chip.
Yeah.
No,
that's kind of happening. So a lot of prophecy seems to be being fulfilled in front of our eyes. Yeah. Some of it's true, some of it's not. And how do we have the discernment to get through that?
That's good. I think the Holy Spirit's going to rise up and we're going to know. Because it's getting out of control.
I'm definitely becoming more skeptical as I get older. I mean, when I was younger, I believed the best about everybody. So I was a little bit gullible, but now it's like, I don't know, man. My initial instinct now is to be like, is this real? And it's sad that it comes to that. But I feel like the older somebody is, the more likely they are to buy into the AI stuff. They're like the more likely they are to be fooled. But like my son and you guys, you're probably like,
kids are
probably not.
Yeah.
You're
I can kind of see it. Yeah. But like that's even the
But
case.
is it going to get better?
What?
Is the AI going to get better?
it will.
Oh, 100%. I mean, eventually we're going to get, I mean, hopefully we don't get to the Terminator stage, but like,
But yeah,
I mean,
right.
like, eventually we're going to have walking and talking AI.
But even
bots.
that, because you've seen like Boston Robotics or whoever who has those real robots that are really cool.
Yeah.
There was like a special effects group that took one of those videos, but they altered it, and so now this robot is like kicking people's butts. Like
Oh my
they got the
gosh.
guys that are testing it, and they're pushing it, and they're doing all this stuff, and all of a sudden this thing just starts doing karate chops and kicking this guy, and people think it's real, and I'm like, it's not.
It's not real.
But will it get to that? Oh, and then all these lonely guys that are getting these AI relationships and these, they're like,
Yeah, I've been seeing that.
man, talk about
How desperate do you have to be for just attention?
Go outside.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: have you guys gone up there to like ChatGPT and said, "Make me a sermon on forgiveness"?
Oh yeah, we did that coming home from CETA one night because I asked you if
And
Satan could heal.
and that's we're getting to where, and I'm not just talking about like a pastor or a church person. I'm talking about stuff where we don't even have to think anymore.
Yeah.
So this is a funny story. So I'm at I'm not calling anybody out, but at an event that I was at in college, somebody that I knew was speaking that week, and he's not everything's up there, like just kind of just like me. I love the guy to death, but anyways, he spoke a sermon. It was super thought out, super like intelligent and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, dude, like you wrote all that? He goes, I didn't write that. Chat GPT, the entire thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like I really hope I never get to that level.
Yeah, but that's where we're going. And you don't even, we're being trained not to think anymore. And something else is going to think for us. And I just feel like we're going to continue the spiral. And like you said, how many people are totally deceived
Right.
by what they're scrolling on?
Yeah.
And, I talk to Donna a lot, and one of my favorite things is when she comes in and says, they say, I'm going, who's they?
Who's there?
Yep.
I love that one.
Well, I said, who is they? But you hear that more and more. You get into talks about the world and all this other thing. Well, they say now.
Yeah.
But Daniel Foster is joining us today. This is cool.
Yeah.
We missed Sheffy, but we wanted a young, fresh look.
We got it.
And we
I
got it.
I looked the part.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And, we have less space taken up over there, so Brad's got a little elbow room because when Sheffy and Brad are together and the two gun shows going over there, it takes up a lot of space. But, man, I'm glad you're here because we're going to – I've been wanting to do something like this for a while with a young – you're going to be 23 this year.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we watch you grow up in the church. I know, musically, I'll play worship music a lot together. And
Daniel rocks.
I've known your
Brad
folks.
rocks.
I've been going to the church we go to for about 10 years now, maybe 11. And I've seen you kind of grow up in front of our eyes. And you and I kind of crossed paths in a more serious way a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm getting more and more and more dads and moms, but mostly dads, are getting more and more concerned about their kid, their young adult, at the stage of their life where you are right now and what you just came out of in your 4 or 5 years of college and stuff. It was 2 years ago that I had the cup of coffee with this guy at Panera, just saying, I asked him how I could pray for him. He said, pray for my daughter and pray for my wife and I. And I said, why? And he says, because she just came home from her first semester of college. And this girl was my little prayer warrior. She was Young Life every Monday night, church camps, sang in the choir, all these things, my beautiful Easter dresses. And she just came home from college and she looked at us and said, we can't call her a she anymore.
Oh, man.
And that conversation spurred with the event we did at the University of Florida with Tim Tebow and Zach Williams. And our whole messaging was, you here on this campus are getting inundated with things that aren't biblical or goes against how you were brought up.
Oh, for sure.
And I was talking to Jason Shack with a Fellowship of Christian Athletes here, and I told him that story about that brother I was talking to. And Jason said, you know what the statistics are on Christian kids? And I said, what? And he said, 2/3 of Christian kids, or kids that grow up in a Christian household, when they leave at 18 the home, 2/3 of them walk away from the faith.
Yeah.
And he said, now, there's a big number that the seeds were planted and they come back. They experience the world. But that number has been decreasing of the kids coming back. I kind of want to have this conversation for us dads that can deal with our kids and work with them on staying the course.
Yeah.
Being patient, staying the course. So that's the Trey Etheridge monologue to get us going. And I'm gonna shut up and listen. But give us a little bit about your background and your college years. You're an athlete in college. That gives you a totally different look at the college life, being an athlete. And
that's a full-time
what's
job.
your witness? What's your witness to the folks, the parents out there, of hey, mom and dad, you planted the right seeds. Keep planting them. Keep praying for endurance. Get us going.
Yeah. So a little bit about my background, and you nailed it. Basically, 4 years of college athlete. All 4 years played baseball, and I mean, did I struggle? Yeah, but I never walked away from the Lord fully. Never once was that even an option for me. I would say, to kind of answer the question just head on, as far as why do college kids walk away from their faith once they get to college?
Because you went to a college, Christian college.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
But even with that, Christian college for some people is just, because I went to Palm Beach Atlantic University, which is in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Well, that's rough.
Yeah, which is just, I mean, we're 2 blocks away from the street with all the bars and the clubs and all that, and it's you're walking distance from having either, whether you want to look at it as a really good night or a really bad night. It's just there's that part, and then a lot of kids will just go there. Oh, I just want to be by the beach. A lot of kids from up north, it's oh, I want to go to college by the beach, and it's a pretty it's a nice college too. So and the faith aspect, I mean, I loved PBA. It was great, but you could easily squeeze by not being a Christian in PBA easily. And you could also easily fall into this category that we're talking about of, hey, mommy and daddy raised me for my whole life in the church, and then I got to college, and
now I'm free.
I'm free. And that's the part that I kind of want to get into, because for me, yes, the seeds were planted by my parents. I love my parents. I'm so blessed with the parents that I had, but we're talking about these people that you met with who are also amazing parents to this daughter, which and it stinks. And to them, it's did we not plant the right seeds? And it's no, you did.
Yeah.
But once you plant the seeds, unfortunately, it's out of your hands now. It's just it's unfortunately out of your hands, and it has to be into the hand of the actual student now. And the biggest thing that I saw in my life was, what am I pursuing? And because once you get on your own, and there's a huge difference between you're living with your parents and pursuing something is kind of just a little bit harder, because you're under the influence of your parents. You're kind of pursuing what your parents are pursuing as well. And everything is kind of just set in stone for you. You go to high school. If you're playing a sport, you play the sport. You go to bed, you do the same thing again, over and over. Once you're on your own, you got the freedom to pursue whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You can literally pursue whatever. So you can either go down the path of, I'm going to go pursue my relationship with the Lord, or I'm going to go pursue, trying to get with as many girls as possible. I'm going to go pursue drinking. I'm going to go pursue this, go pursue that. And when you get into the environment where everybody around you is pursuing this side of things, it becomes really, really hard to choose, hey, I want to go pursue my relationship with the Lord. For me, I was just ridiculously blessed with a community of people right off the jump. My best friend was my roommate my freshman year, and we just walk with the Lord together. And that's where it's like doing stuff like this and having community is so important.
I want to give you a good example.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk about myself too much because
you're good.
I get bored. Anyway,
Fair.
My experience, I just got saved in 1979. So I went off to college to play baseball right after that. I was young. I graduated at 17, and then I tried. I was a new Christian. I tried to serve the Lord. I took my Bible. The guys on the team persecuted the crap out of me.
Yeah.
You know, I had a duffel bag. They put it up on the flagpole. You know, I had to go get my stuff off the flagpole. But I didn't have that other person because I wasn't at a Christian college. I didn't have that other person to walk with me through that. And it was so stinking tough. And my father was not in my life. My oldest brother, who is my best friend to this day, he was off, doing his thing, and I had a little bit of contact with him. He was also saved at the time, but not a lot. I didn't have anybody to throw stuff off of and say, let's walk together, let's do Bible study together. And it was so stinking hard, and I think you hit on it, and that is you had a buddy that you could walk with.
Yeah.
So that to me is probably the most important thing anywhere, is that you have men together. This is our group that we walk, we talk when we're not on camera. We throw stuff off each other about what we're going through, and I think that's so important for guys to find that person that they can sharpen iron together with.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you had that. I love your mom and dad. They're amazing people, and they've done such a fantastic job. But how did you continue to stay? What was it that was your strength to be able to overcome that?
I mean, my strength comes from the Lord, and that's really it. And I think, like, I kind of mentioned it a little bit, like, my parents planted the seeds, but then when I went off to college, it wasn't on them anymore, you know, and they realized that. But I loved it how my parents kind of did this to where it was like through high school, they were pretty like on me. They were protective and strict, which I'm so blessed like that was the case. But then once I went to college, it was like, we're taking our hands off. You're a young man now.
Go get it.
Yeah, go get it. And I think that really helped me because I feel as if a lot of parents, like I talk with a lot of my friends, and some of my friends that walked away, especially their freshman year, because I do feel like I saw a lot of this in my 4 years of college. Freshman, maybe sophomore year, they go out and they want to experience everything that the world has for them. And then by junior year, they realize, okay, this isn't working.
What did you experience with teachers that have a motive?
Well, again, going to a Christian school,
Not that bad.
It made it a little bit easier. But I will say this. The opposite effect kind of went on some, like, let's just say, like, somebody went to PBA, they weren't a Christian. You got this teacher that is just like shoving it down your throat. And it's just like, you have to read the Bible. You have to do this. You have to do that. Stop your wicked ways, all this kind of stuff. They're like, I don't want to be a Christian.
No.
If this is my, like, if this is what a Christian is, I don't want to do that.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that, I had a lot of teammates that told me about that. They were like, yeah, I'm turned off of the faith because of some of the professors here, which I'm like, ooh, like that hurts,
Right.
you know, because then there's me. I'm just trying to love on these guys. Cause that was when I would say my freshman and sophomore year, I didn't really take much of a leadership role. I just wanted to love on the guys. I just wanted to build relationships, just be with them, just meet their needs. They want to talk about Jesus. I'll talk all day about Jesus with them. But then my junior year, I remember I really tried to step into more of a leadership role. I felt the Lord call me like, you got to start discipling these guys. Like you have to. And so my freshman and sophomore year, it just hurt for me to hear that because it's like, I'm trying to love on these guys like Jesus would love these guys. And we got professors at this school, like, who are representing our school that are putting a bad taste of Jesus into their mouth. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it was just like religion, and especially like when you get into the required Bible classes, it's like they're teaching the Bible, but they're teaching more religion than they actually are the Bible. And so that put a bad taste in their mouth. So, yeah, that kind of hurt a little bit. But I mean, there was the professor here and there that was like, push the liberal agenda upon the people. Like I had a math professor who in 2021 and like October was still wearing like 2 masks with a face shield and was like, if you're not 6 feet apart. And I'm like, dude, this pandemic was like a year and a half ago.
Tell me you're a Democrat without telling me you're a Democrat.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it's just stuff like that. Like just like trying to push that agenda. And you know what? I do think that influences a lot of people because I don't know what it is, but like when you're living in the world, the liberal side of things and that progressive side of things just kind of feels a little bit better, and it kind of looks a little bit better, and it might not make sense for us who are not living in the world, but for somebody who is, I guess it does. So
we talked about sin sniffers, and I don't mean that I'm a sin sniffer. I don't have any desire for it, but I can smell religion in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah,
and it. Growing up in that, I can see it, and I don't like it. I don't want anything to do with it because the relationship that I have now, which is grace through faith, is so much better to be on this side than on the religious side.
Yeah. I am going to say something that kind of goes back to our original question. Why do college kids walk away from their faith right away? And I'm going to point right to that. I believe a lot of it comes from this religious aspect of Christianity rather than the true relational. It's sometimes not the parents' fault. Sometimes it is, but like sometimes it's not. But when you push this agenda of we're going to church every Sunday, you're serving at church, you're doing this, you're doing that, in the kids' lives, because I've been there. Thankfully, it was way before I went to college, but like I've been there to where it's like I just saw church as a checkbox. Okay, we went to church on Sunday, check. All right, went to youth group on Wednesday, check. Like I was good. So a lot of college kids, they will throughout high school see church as that, and then once they get to college, it's like, oh, nobody's telling me what to do anymore. What did this faith really mean to me in the first place? And then they realize how shallow it actually was and it didn't really mean much to them. And now it's like, okay, what's taking me next? And then whatever takes them next is where they go. Yeah. So whether that's the liberal agenda or whether that's, living in the world, drinking and partying and all of that kind of stuff, or whether it's true relationship with Jesus. It's all about pursuit, and it's all about where it takes you.
Do you think a lot of kids growing up in the church have their parents' faith? They have a relationship based on their parents.
Oh yeah,
meaning they really haven't found their own walk yet. They're just living, like you said, checking boxes because that's what their parents do.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll go back to my brother, like not my actual blood brother, but like my best friend. I won't say his name. He knows who he is, and a lot of people know who he is.
Hey, who he is? What's up? Who he is?
What's up? Who he is? Yeah. But him and I talk about it a lot to where he was just like, yeah, I just saw he went to Holy Trinity and he was raised Catholic. And through that, and through that, he just felt church was just something that he did every Sunday, and there was no depth to it. There was the way that he would describe it is there was so little depth to it that he had no idea what it meant. That anything that they were speaking about, the sacraments that they did, no idea what it meant. And it wasn't until he got to college and we pursued that relationship with Jesus together to where it was just like he just dove in. He's he is my like blood brother at this point.
That's
like,
called
it's just amazing.
The book that we love, The Bible in Light of Our Redemption, he talks about that as revelation knowledge. And a lot of people that go through a pretty strict religious regime at church, and it turns into be a process and a checking off and pulling Jesus out of your pocket like Michael talks about on Sundays and then putting him back in your pocket when you leave.
Yep.
When you have that revelation, that's when everything changes, man.
Yes.
Inside your heart and inside your brain.
Yeah.
Your parents obviously stayed in contact they didn't totally leave you on your own, but they stayed in contact. And were you still, did you have that open conversation with them where you were able to throw things off of them and say, I mean, totally honesty with your parents? Did you have that type of relationship, or were you more honest with your friends or the one particular brother than you were with your parents?
My relationship with my parents is pretty special. Just like throughout high school, I would say there was a lot that I hid from them, but that's natural. I'm living with my parents. It doesn't really they can still punish me kind of thing. They can still take my phone from me. But once I got to college, I don't even know. It was immediate for me, but a new level of relationship with my dad specifically just opened up like nothing else. And it was crazy. I was like, I feel like I can tell this guy literally anything. And he can now turn into where I was thinking, you know how sometimes we think of God as like the guy that's like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that and all that. When instead he's like, no, just come to me and I'll fix you up kind of thing. Like that's kind of how that was the switch with my dad. You know what I mean? I kind of saw my dad as this like, oh, I hope he doesn't punish me. I hope he doesn't kick my butt. And then now I see him as this loving dad that, I can go to for advice. I can go to for literally anything. So
that's the grace message. That's what we're trying to portray. It's like, that's the whole difference between grace and religion. That's what we're trying to tell guys. It's like
you're gonna be loved more for sharing your weakness than you are. You're not gonna be loved less, and that's just a perfect father-son relationship that you're talking about.
Everybody I know who grew up in the church has that similar story where they felt like they were checking off a box. They were there I was there 3 times a week, every day growing up, or every week growing up. And so at some point the kids have to find the faith on their own. Like the seeds have been planted. They know what's right. They saw what their parents did. But like you said, you go away to college. I went to a Christian, Oklahoma Baptist University, same kind of thing.
Right.
At first I went to church because it was a habit. And then I was like, not feeling it.
Yeah.
And didn't do it for a while. And then, like a year later kind of came to this crisis where it's like, I need God now. Like I need him.
Yeah.
He was constantly drawing me, but we all have that same, those of us who grew up in the church, we all have that same testimony where it's like checking off a box until at some point it had to become real for us.
Yeah.
But like as parents, I don't know that what we could do to keep it from feeling like checking off a box, because like our kids don't always understand.
Not a whole lot. Yeah.
They don't always understand, but it's like you're still expected to be at church every week. We're there.
Right.
We know the benefits of it. You may not understand it, but at least you're going to be there. You're going to get some words sown into you, and at some point it's going to bear fruit.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I really just think back to Matthew 7, where it's talking about like, many will come to me saying, Lord, Lord, like, have we not done this? Have we not done that?
I did all this stuff.
I did everything for you. Like all this, like, and then he's like, I never knew you. Like I never had a relationship with you. And it goes back to that, to where it's like, that's the slippery slope to where it could be when a college kid enters the kingdom of heaven and he's saying, I went to church on Sundays. I did what my parents did. I did this, I did that. And the Lord's like, never pursued a relationship. It was Sundays. That was it.
I knew your dad.
Yeah, I knew your dad. Yeah, exactly. But it is such a tough thing. I mean, I'm speaking like I'm a parent. I'm 22 and I'm nowhere even close. Yeah. But also at the same time, I get it. I get it to where it's like, how do I not push this regime on them to where they're going to think of it as like just a habit or just a pattern, but to where it's like, oh, I want them to see that this is like truly a relationship with Jesus rather than like, but also still, I want them to go to church and I want them to get plugged in to small groups and I want them to do all these things that are so fruitful for our relationship with Christ. But how do I not make it religious?
Right. I think some kids are going to take it that way regardless.
I think so too.
There's nothing you can do to keep them from feeling that way. And so, the kids may roll their eyes and say, oh, church again. It's like, yeah, church again, like we're going.
Yeah,
and eventually someday it'll become real to you. and you'll see the need for it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I really do.
But when you got to college and you said that you saw your dad in a different light, your relationship changed with him in a good way.
Yeah.
Did you, like, if you were sharing stuff with him, did you feel like he was constantly trying to correct you and steer you, or did he just listen and kind of, because he said that they kind of took their hands off and said, all right, you're a man now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I use my dad specifically, but it was also my mom.
Mm-hmm.
My mom actually, I would say just as much as my dad, I just would share everything with them. And also they would both give me advice, but it's really funny. My mom would always make fun of me whenever I would like bring girls back to Melbourne or something like that. And she'd be like, I don't like this one. And I wouldn't listen. That's when she would be like,
discernment, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Now I realize mama knows best. So
Nice.
that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, mama knows best. But like, but that's a really good example because like, yeah, like actually like I would bring a girlfriend back and my mom would be like listen, like, I know you better than anybody. Like, this is not the one for you. And I'd be like, no, mom, like I promise. Like, just listen.
You don't understand, Mom.
But that's the kind of like hands-off thing to where it was like they tried to give me advice, but then afterwards my mom was like, okay, yeah, go figure it out for yourself, go learn.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing that my parents let me do is they let me learn. They let me learn.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just give an example of like, I'll just put alcohol on the table for right now. Like I have seen my parents like have, I know, oh my gosh.
You drank alcohol?
But like I have seen my parents in a healthy state, like have a glass of wine or have a beer or something like that. And that is something that I grew up seeing, like a healthy amount of alcohol and all that. My parents were very adamant on like, hey, like you need, if you are going to drink, if you are going to try a drink, because I don't believe there's anything wrong with having a beer or having a glass of wine. But my parents were like, if you're going to do that, it's a slippery slope. Like, don't like, just really try to discern yourself. But they were never like, whenever I would have a beer, they'd never be like, is it only one? Is it only one? Is it only one? Like they were going to let me learn,
right?
And I think that like way made me be like, okay, yeah, I am only going to have one or two and just cut it at that because I don't want the consequences of that. And I trust my parents' discernment on that. And they let me learn.
Yeah. I think parents, a lot of times they see something negative and they panic and they clamp down.
Yeah.
Which sometimes pushes the kids further away. But we've got situations with our kids where it's like we have to trust more in the power of the word that was sown in them than in the world's ability to distract or draw them away.
Yeah.
I mean, they may walk away temporarily, but I believe that, the word does not return void, like Michael always says. And they're going to come back. And, I went to a private Christian school growing up.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of kids there it was like a reform school. Like if they got in trouble at the public school, the parents were like, you're going to Metro Christian Academy and you're going to get fixed. and as a result, we had some of the worst partiers from multiple schools all over Tulsa. And so it was a wild scene. And so a lot of these people, and I stayed out of that. I was never drawn to it.
Right.
But some of these party animals, some of these crazy people, a few years ago, like I see them on Facebook and they're posting scriptures and I'm like, wow, that guy really came around.
Yeah.
Like I never thought. So the word does not return void. It comes back. And so I think as parents, you do your best to sow that into the kids. You get them in church. And if the kids, they explore, do whatever they're doing during college,
right,
don't push them away by like, stamping your fist and go, no, you're not going to do this. Like trust the Lord, trust the word. They're going to come back to it.
I think that's such a huge thing. Like, just trust the process of the Lord. I feel like that is such a big thing. Is like, I'm sorry, what was it? The word doesn't void or whatever?
Doesn't return void.
Doesn't return void.
It accomplishes as what it is set out to do. So.
Right. Exactly.
Well, and again, we trust more in the power, God's power to redeem than in Satan's power to deceive.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we just panic. We're like, oh no, Satan's got a hold of him. It's over. It's like, no, God wins.
God's got him.
He's got him.
Absolutely.
And as a parent, sometimes I fell into the trap of, Satan's in there.
Yeah.
I got to go in and rescue as a parent. And that's the slope that we parents, like you said earlier, that your mom and dad we planted all these seeds and now we're going to back off. As parents, all we want to do is protect.
Yeah.
All we want to
Sure.
do is catch them when they fall. And boy, that, I can speak from experience on that. That opens up a world of hurt in me sometimes, because I feel like the more I try to grasp and control and handle and all these things, a wedge is put between me and my son, or other relationships where I feel like Satan's playing with him. I got to get in there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It's cool because I'm also seeing it with my brother now. Them do the same exact thing with my brother,
Even though he's an Aggie.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Hey, listen, we are 7-0.
I know. I know.
It's great.
Where I grew up, where I went to college, they were our rival, and they beat us almost every year in football. And I just
There's a reason why they beat you every year in football. It's because of the 12th man.
Yeah, the 12th man.
Yeah.
I will say that is probably the coolest football stadium I've ever been in my life.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
We
Saying
almost beat him.
You almost did. Almost.
Almost.
That
That's the
doesn't
key
count.
word. Yeah.
Sorry to get off on
Almost
that
is only-
tangent.
No,
But what about your brother?
It's fine.
What about your brother?
No, it's just cool to see what my parents did with me. They're doing the exact same thing with Dalton.
Yeah.
Which is great. And it's super cool because Dalton's doing great.
Yeah.
Dalton's doing exactly what he needs to be doing right now. It's great to see, my parents, it was the same. They were on him, we grew up with curfews, we grew up with this and that and phone limits and all of that. And then immediately they were like this. Because they trusted, and I love what it was either you or you said, they trust the seeds that they've planted.
Right.
Yeah.
And now it's like they're just gonna put their hands off, and it's like, if something goes wrong and one of us falls off, either Dalton or I, we fall off and fall into the ways of this world, they're not gonna be like, we're right back on, and it's like we're gonna apply all these rules and stuff. It's like, no, we're young men now, and now we need to learn.
Yeah.
Because in James 1 verses 2 through 4, it says through trials and tribulations, you will produce steadfastness.
Right.
And so therefore that is so applicant for college people, for college kids, is you have these trials, you're going to be tempted with wanting to do everything that the college lifestyle offers you. And you're going to slip up at some point. Like whether it's one way or the other, every college kid is either going to experience it, indulge in it, or have it get the best of them.
Yeah.
Something like that. One of those three is going to happen.
I mean, look at what Jesus did
Yeah.
with his disciples. I mean, what a group of morons sometimes.
Yeah.
And he could have stepped in at any time and took control, but he didn't fix it. He let it happen, and he let them experience, and he sent them out 2 by 2. And they did the exact same thing that he did when he sent them out. They healed and removed unclean spirits, and it was amazing. He wasn't with them and they came back and told these glorious stories. That was the foreshadow of what their life was going to be when he was gone.
That man I was talking to about his daughter, I tried to say, you did this.
Right.
Now, and you know what? It's been 2 years. She came back,
Yeah.
but as parents, we just want to, let's fix it now. Let's get in there. And my job's not to fix. My job's just to go out, plow a field, put the seed in, put a little water on it, and let Jesus do the rest.
Right. Amen.
Yeah.
Because I love the second half of that scripture, Trey. Raise up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old,
Yes.
he won't depart from
He
it.
won't depart from it.
Right.
It just seems like the college campus is a volatile place you have a lot of different ideals. You have a lot of different cultures. You had a lot, the LGBTQ thing is, God created you the way you are and you feel good about it. So stick with it, and those type of things. And
Christianity.
the progressive Christianity thing. And did you experience any of that at Palm Beach Atlantic? Was any of that there per se? I mean, it's Christian
You
school.
mean like radicalism?
Yeah, versus the state colleges where you see the protests and and all that.
I mean, there was no protests at PBA.
Yeah.
I think the campus was too small anyways to have protests. Like
got a good point. Yeah.
We had one street that went down and that was pretty much it. But as far as radicalism goes, I mean, we had chapel. that you had to go to. And I think our radicalism was like low key Christianity. Like low key, I mean, like, yeah, we'll be Christians, but we're not going to be radical about it. Everybody was like that. Like so many people were like that. Like, I don't want to go as far to say lukewarm Christianity, but I'm kind of pointing towards that. To where it's just like that was just kind of the culture at PBA. Like, you ask them, are you a Christian? And you're like, yeah, I'm a Christian. I go to church. I do this, I do that. But they're not really, they're super quiet about it. It's like, shh, don't be too loud about your faith. Like, you can't be too loud about your faith. You know what I mean? Don't raise your hands in worship. Like, don't do that. You know what I mean? You know, and that's kind of, if there was a radicalism thing, that's kind of where I would point that to. You know what I mean?
Because you think about it, you guys, you haven't experienced life yet.
No.
And so when
They say the frontal cortex of the human male doesn't fully develop till like 28 years old.
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
Not even close.
I know. So
You got a ways to go, dude.
yeah, really. But you haven't experienced life, so there's really nothing. You know, it's going to class, eating pizza. You know, maybe sneaking a beer on campus, whatever. That's your life.
Yeah.
But when life happens, when you get out of college and you get a job and you get, you know, that report after you've been married a few years and you got that report, your baby needs to have open heart surgery because there's a whole, you know, that's life. Or we found a lump or things like that. I truly believe that the Holy Spirit's going to draw a lot of people back and say, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and nobody comes to the Father except through me. And that's where it happened to me. It's like life finally I've freaking just had enough. I was so isolated, and I finally went to a breakfast and met him, and I experienced relationship again as opposed to religion. And that's our whole goal with all this. And that's to let kids know that when you finally get out in the world after college from an amazing young man that's doing some great things for the Lord, hold on to that with what you were taught. Hold on to that with what you were raised up in, because Satan is gonna try to destroy you.
Yeah.
And the parents that have been planting those seeds trust that those seeds are going to grow.
Yeah.
And the brother that came to me with his concerns a couple of years ago, he had serious doubt.
Yeah.
And that's where Satan wants you. Just
You've told that story a few times over the past couple of years. I hadn't heard that she did come back around, so that's awesome.
That's
so
amazing.
cool.
That's so
awesome to
cool.
hear.
That's what it's all about. That's literally what, like, having them come back around. It's what it's all about. But the devil, I mean, the devil prowls, and he prowls around those seeds that the parents plant. You know, I mean, I'll just, you know, I'll get a little bit vulnerable here, but like, I felt a lot of doubts about what I believed between my sophomore and junior year of college. And it was because we were talking about this earlier. I felt a conviction from the Holy Spirit to get a little bit more into a leadership role of things rather than like, and it was like that summer. I remember the seeds that were planted by my parents, the seeds that were planted at CAV, like all these kind of things. I'm back home. I'm back in Melbourne. I'm basically home. And I remember these doubts were creeping in. And I look back at that. I'm like, why wouldn't the devil want to attack that? If that's, and now I see what happened, like, you know, all glory to God, no pride on me whatsoever, but like FCA was started, you know, started Bible studies on my team. You know, I watched multiple of my teammates get baptized and saved, you know what I mean? And I see that and I'm just like, man, I'm tearing up just like even thinking about it.
That's
it's
so
just
cool.
like, it's so incredible.
to put it, what happens to me, you know, because, you know, my brain's always working about wanting to do something. And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but
Right.
Satan is the best at saying, yeah, but.
Oh yeah.
Remember you did this way back when? Yeah, but you're illegitimate on that because this was done. Oh, yeah, but they're not going to really listen to you because, and you can get caught up in that as a young person that's still, figuring things out in your brains. I applaud you for turning to your source.
Appreciate that.
And being able to filter out the lies.
Oh yeah.
And because he is the master of but, and I go there all the time.
Yeah.
With he knows how to attack me. And but.
Right. Exactly. And that's why it's so important to just get into that word right there, because if it doesn't line up with the word of God, then it's not true. And so when you can discern that, it's from the devil, and it's not from a true spirit, or it is a true spirit, but not from the true spirit.
Right.
So
that whole take every thought captive.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talked about that a while back. That is, I am getting better at that.
Take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ.
Right.
I'm going to be honest. I suck at that.
Yeah.
It's so I'm just, I'll let thoughts come through my head, and that is my biggest struggle.
Yeah.
And it always has been. I don't know what it is, but it just always has been my biggest struggle. So
Well, we talk about the second. We talk about you're not really responsible if a thought comes into your head, but it's like, do you entertain it or do you take it captive? Do
There
you
you go.
turn from it? Like, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we beat ourselves up because the thought even happened.
Yeah.
I mean, there's intrusive
me.
thoughts.
That's me.
So it's what you do with it once it comes in. You shut it off. Do you go to the word, or do you sit there and dwell on it,
Dwell
turn
on
it
it,
over and
dwell
over,
on
and let it turn into something worse?
right.
I got to ask you a question. Did you get angry on the mound? Did you ever stick one in
Oh,
somebody's
that was
ear hole?
Satan's biggest target for me was on the mound. A bad call.
Did you ever put one in somebody's ear hole?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah.
Now
I mean,
now we're
listen,
getting
I'm
real.
a Christian, but
He's a competitive guy.
Yeah.
He's competitive.
My competition was open door for the devil. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's bad, but there's a lot of funny stories that come with me being on the mound. My debut, my freshman year, it was 4 weeks into the season, and I hadn't pitched yet. And it's a Friday night. We're down by 1 run, so it's a close game. Manager looks at me. I'm doing the little chart thing because I'm a freshman, and I'm on these chart duties. He looks at me. He goes, "Get throwing, Foster." And I was like, "What?" So I run into the mound and start playing catch. I get on the mound. I think I strike out the last guy. I lost my head with what I was saying and all of that, and everybody was just cracking up because I was going ballistic. And that became kind of an identity for me on the mound, and people were just waiting for me to have something good happen so that I would just blow up and everybody could just laugh. It was funny. So
Love it.
Well, this has just been a joy to have you to give some young perspective for us old farts here. The young adult, that college student, we are handing over the mantle from what we know and hoping that you guys are going to be those discipleship leaders to put your arms around and groom and help and plant seeds with other men and women. And, you know what, Daryl, Linda, great job. Amazing parents. Most of the time end up with amazing kids, and you did good. You did good, Mom and Dad.
That's right.
And but if that poses, if our discussions today hit you a little bit, guys, with parenting experiences from your end, frustrations you have with your child that as they're moving on in life and maturing, and you got a story you want to share, we would love for you to click on our Brotherhood support button on our website. Just send us a note. But we'd love to be an ear for you and talk to you about training up a child in the ways of good. And also, while you're on the website or going to YouTube or social media, give us a like, a follow, share. And if it's on your heart, we would love for you to help support us with the giving link. Been a joy to be here. Daniel Foster, Mike, and Brad, I'm glad I'm back. It's been a month since I've really been around.
Yeah, man.
And next episode, we're gonna talk a little bit about our friends in Anapra, Juarez, Mexico. with Amigos and Cristo. So we're going to have some perspective on that with Brian, who joined us, and how we bear others' burdens and serve. So get ready for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Y'all good?
Yeah,
good, man.
I'm good too. Let's go home. Until next time, I'm Trey.
I'm Michael.
I'm Brad. This is Daniel.
And I'm Daniel.
And we are the Cussin Christians. Come on.
So Daniel, you pitch lefty. You are left-handed, but you play guitar right-handed.
Yes.
Us left-handed guitarists are we're
I'm
disappointed.
sorry.
You had a real
I'm so
opportunity.
sorry.
Come on,
Man, I'll try to transfer over. I don't know. I think I've learned way too much on this side of things. But
I should have learned righty, but I did so much air band stuff in high school and college that it just felt natural.